Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here today to share our Trainline story. And especially delighted, I think, to be here and up the women ratio in the room. We really haven't got this gender diversity thing cracked yet in tech. Let me start by a personal story. So a few years ago, actually many years ago, 6 years ago, I tried to bring my family on a train trip for the weekend. I wanted to go from London to Bruges. I searched, been online for 15 years, so I searched online, and what I found was very inconsistent results. I couldn't figure out what the right price was. Then it was pretty hard to book, and over and on top of that, my payment didn't get accepted. The net result of all of that is I gave up, and we took a flight to Lisbon instead. Fast forward, now I'm at Trainline. And we are here to fundamentally open up the world's rail to everyone. All carriers in one app, making it seamless, frictionless, and smart. So let me start by telling you a bit about the rail market. It's a huge market globally. Over $200 billion, a huge amount of that in Europe. Of course, we have a great rail heritage in Europe. And surprising to some, there are more long-distance rail journeys in Europe than there are short-haul air journeys, about 4x. There are even more long-distance rail journeys than there are the combination of long and short-haul air. And rail, as distinct from air, is a very, very high-frequency, high-engagement vertical. This is a joy for our data scientists, our engineers, and our product team. I'll talk more about that later. But surprisingly, we're in 2017, and most of it is still offline. So most people queuing, millions of people today queuing across Europe to buy tickets in sweaty queues. Not a great experience. And for train companies, hard to do yield management when most of your demand shows up 10 minutes before the train leaves. So where are we at Trainline today? Well, we've got 86, actually now 90 since we wrote the slides, different partners connected. And interestingly, about half of those carriers, rail carriers, weren't operating 10 years ago. So this market is fragmenting, and fragmenting fast. I have multiple choices if I want to go between Milan and Rome today, if I want to go between Paris and Nice, or if I want to go between London and Birmingham. And we aggregate all of those choices into one app. We're operating in 24 countries, and that's up from 3, I'm delighted to say, 2 years ago. We acquired a company called Captain Train, based out of Paris last year, and we've 5 or 6x our addressable market and our supply. And we're serving 35,000 different stations. There are 2,000 airports in Europe. So again, this is a joy of a long-tail technology challenge. So what do we do for our customers? Well, I've already spoken about our consumers. It's all options in one app. It's a great customer experience and great, smart, real-time travel information. For our business customers, it's all that plus other tools on top. And for our train companies, our supply partners, it's access to new customers at a lower cost to serve that they would otherwise achieve, and ultimately putting more seats and more people on trains. If you cut Trainline down the middle, the bulk of our team is product, technology, data science. Our customer experience, and very specifically our mobile customer experience, is at our heart. On search, we've had to develop our own specific algorithms. There is no GDS in rail. We are the only true multi-carrier search, bringing all carriers into one search. I could go out with Trenitalia and back with Italo. Secondly, a simple and frictionless experience. If you're taking 24 train journeys a year, it has to be super slick. We've been partnering with the industry over the last few years to roll out mobile ticketing across both the UK and in Europe. And that's a much better experience than what existed before. Smarter travel. So giving our customers delay prediction, congestion information, a whole host of things. And last but not least, inspiring new journeys. So I mentioned data. I'm sure it's been talked about a lot today. We have 8 billion searches per year, and we track 920 million train movements for the train geeks amongst you. What that gives us is a huge data lake, which we then can translate back into great features for our customers. So I mentioned BusyBot, telling people where specifically on a train they're going to get seats and how busy that train's likely to be at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Journey prediction, so we can tell on 80% of our purchases, we can predict the journeys that a customer is going to make. And inspiration, great places for me to visit 90 minutes from home. We've been building our brand for a long time in the UK and have now extended that build out right the way across Europe. It's a combination of both highly targeted prospecting online plus very geo and seasonal specific offline. And we've been accelerating. The company's been around, as I said, since the late 90s, but and has grown in double digits that entire time. But there's been a huge acceleration in the last 2 to 3 years, driven by mobile, driven by e-ticketing. We're at 2.3 billion in sales now, and over 77% of our visits are mobile. We also have a significant customer base in business customers, corporates, travel management companies. And last but not least, we serve some of our train carrier partners as white label partners, so we provide their retailing engine. Now, a lot has happened. I've been at Trainline for 3.5 years. We're a private equity-backed company. We've been changing a lot and changing it fast. And I've learned a ton about how to bring a team through that change. And culture and values are hugely important. We're a very international and diverse team, over close to 50 different nationalities, but we operate as one team. We're all focused on wowing our customers. It's very easy in an online company to lose, we've got a bunch of data on our customers, but to lose the human touch. So everybody listens to customer calls on a weekly basis. I'm a firm believer that we're blazing new trails. No one has ever built an independent rail platform at the scale that we're at before. So a lot of our people come in every day and they're solving new problems. So we do things like weekly tech meetups, hackathons. We have a super creative space, all because I want people to be thinking differently. And last but not least, we're focused on impact. I have 3 kids. I can't work 70 hours a week. I tell my team it's all about results, not hours worked. So where are we going next? What's in our future? Well, we're in constant pursuit of a 6-star app. We're 5 stars today, but what is 5 stars today is usually not by next week. More options, more supply. We have 80% of supply in Europe today, but we're looking at completing our European supply, plus looking at Asia, Japan, and the US. More geographies, languages, currencies. And last but not least, spreading the word. Ultimately, I want all those people in queues right the way across Europe, or all those people who are choosing air instead of rail today, to travel on train more. Thank you.